Welcome back to Succession 2013. Today, this is the day of the ladies of Nyanza. And my second guest this morning is yet another lady who wants to face off with yet another Odinga name in Kisumu County for the race for Kisumu governor. In the studio today on the set, Succession 2013, is Lady Ahonobadha, the current vice chair of the Agricultural Society of Kenya, who has decided to go for the seat of Kisumu governor and to face off with Raila Odinga's sister, the Prime Minister's sister, Ruth Odinga. Ma'am, kindly introduce yourself to Kenyans and to the people of Kisumu County.
Thank you. My name is Rhoda Atieno Ahonobadha. I was born in Kisumu County in Kano. I was bred in Muhoroni constituency, which is still Kisumu County. I'm married to Engineer Ambrose Ahonobadha of Kisumu Nyahera, also in Kisumu County. I am a mother and I am a grandmother as well. I went to school in Kisumu Union for primary and Nyakach Girls Primary School, where I did my KPE. I thereafter went to Chania High School for my O-levels, then to Limuru Girls for A-levels. Thereafter, I went to the University of Nairobi, where I did my BSc in Botany and Zoology, and proceeded to do a Master's of Science in Animal Production. I started working in 1980. Soon after I got my master's degree, I was posted to Kisumu district, which comprised of 5 divisions. That was Nyakach, Upper and Lower, Nyando, Muhoroni, Winam, and Seme. Now, I know Kisumu very well. I interacted with the farmers in the district, with women groups, with youth groups, with 4K clubs, to ensure that they adopted best practices in livestock production. I also ensured that the quality of the livestock which were being kept then were of high quality, because we had schemes like the bull scheme, which would be used to crossbreed with the zebu cows. We had cockerel exchange programs, which would be used to crossbreed the indigenous poultry. So the level of production of livestock went up. I also built some, about 3 dips for sheep and goats, 1 in Nyando, 1 in Seme, 1 in Muhoroni. I also participated in the formation of a Yergweng honey refinery. So I contributed a lot. These were my achievements when I was working with the district, as the district animal production officer in Kisumu. After that, I joined the Agricultural Finance Corporation in 1983. I was posted to Kisumu again as a loan officer in charge of loan administration, credit delivery, disbursement, ensuring that the projects were implemented as approved, also collecting the loans. I was a loan officer in Kisumu district. Thereafter, I became the branch manager in charge of all the loans, all the operations, all the resources which were used by AFC then. I was a coordinator, I was a supervisor, I was also the link person between the departments which were there, and we worked very well with the farmers. After that, I became the area manager in charge of Nyanza, also supervising all the AFC activities. Thereafter, I became regional manager, Nyanza and Western. So I rose through that.
Portfolio that you've had as an officer of AFC. I'm sure your competitors will happen to this, to hit at you, because the AFC has had its own drama in terms of what has happened to the loans to farmers, what has happened to lost monies, what has happened to grabbed AFC land, and so on and so forth. So how do you think this background, both at the AFC and also at the ASK, is going to help you fight your rivals for Kisumu governorship? Why do you think Kenyans would support you for the post of Kisumu governor?
I am a leader.
If you could just talk to me directly.
Thank you. I am a leader of integrity. I agree that there could have been some mistakes or errors done by some AFC officials. But I am my own person. I know myself. I know that all the loans that I gave in good faith. I gave them for development. All the loans that were collected and returned to the kitty, because AFC funds is a revolving fund. So I have no fear that my competitors will hap at me on the past mistakes done by other people other than me.
What do you think has prepared you for such a huge office? Because there are going to be tens of billions being managed by the governor of Kisumu County. The Kisumu itself is a cosmopolitan city. It has a huge population, and it also has its own resources that are lying there. What do you think has prepared you for that post of Kisumu governor?
As I was saying, I was giving my work experience and the competencies that I developed. So I am a leader, I am a manager, I am experienced in team building, I've got good interpersonal skills and relationships, I build linkages, and I work with people, the team that I'm given to work with. Now, given that the governor position is a CEO's position, I think and I know that I'm well prepared to face the task of being the governor. As for the resources, when I started working for AFC, the portfolio was 500 million. By the time I left, I had grown the portfolio to 1.5 billion. I know that Kisumu is first to whether a human being has enough food, adequate and also good quality, that a human being has water in good quantity and clean, a human being has economic power to be able to meet all the desire, whatever is desired in life, like education for the kids, like health issues when somebody falls sick, like personal development, investment. So this is a good life that I'm talking about. This is the life that within the 5 years that I'll be governor, I'll ensure that I work with my team, with my government at the county, to ensure that the lives of the people of Kisumu County is improved far much than where they are now. And the people I'm talking about are children, women, men, the youth, people living with disabilities, everybody working in Kisumu County. And what I would like to say is that Kisumu County is metropolitan, is cosmopolitan, it's also rural. So there's a diverse segment of people living in Kisumu town. What I know that has been also been provided by the Constitution is that one of the objectives is that the county governor will foster unity in diversity. So what I'll do with my team is to ensure that everybody in Kisumu, of all races, of all ethnic inclinations, of gender, anybody in Kisumu is welcome to work with us to ensure that the lives are improved.
For the people of Kisumu County, the most basic issue, water supply, has been the biggest irony ever since independence, because Lake Victoria is right there. The bulk of it is in Kisumu County. Yet the people, even inside the city itself, Kisumu town, the people who go without water for days in a week. The people who can't get tap water. There are people who've been struggling for years to get piped water to their homes. What is your understanding of this problem of water in Kisumu County?
I know that the issue of water is a thorn in the flesh in Kisumu County. I was a director of Kiwasco, Kisumu Water and Sewerage Company Limited, up to 3rd of September when I resigned now to vie for the governor's seat. I know the water that is there is inadequate. The main source of water in Kisumu is Lake Victoria. The infrastructure that was put back when municipality council used to manage the water was meant for the low population then. The infrastructure has just been expanded with the help of AFD funding from the French, and By the time Kiwasco was formed, the production was about 18,000 cubic millimeters per day. With the involvement of the partners, the production now has increased to 48,000 cubic meters. It is still not enough. Work is still going on to ensure that all the residents of the Kisumu County receive tapped water at their doorsteps. What I know has also been done is to supply water to the informal settlement like Nyalenda. So what I know really about water, it is not enough. There are efforts to ensure that it is enough. But my vision as a governor...
What has been the problem? From your stint at Kiwasco, what really is the problem? Because I don't think you can anyone can convince Kisumu residents that Lake Victoria water is not enough for them. What has been the problem in terms of purifying the water and getting it to the people?
The problem is not in purification. What was the problem was the infrastructure. The infrastructure that was there was meant for only about 500,000 people. The population of Kisumu has grown threefold. So the water that was being produced was not enough. Now that the partners have come in, more infrastructure is being put in place. Production from the Lake Victoria has been doubled, and that is why the amount of water has gone up. Another problem with the lake is the water hyacinth. The water hyacinth makes it very difficult for the water intake to really flow properly. The next problem is that the lake water is receding. It is going towards the center. The third problem is that Lake Victoria is getting shallower because of silting being brought by the rivers that drain into Lake Victoria. Production of water also from Lake Victoria is expensive because it is pumped using electricity. So my vision and what I want to do as a governor is to ensure that the rivers that we have, and there are quite a number, there are two main ones, the Nyando River and the Sondu Miriu River. There are smaller ones, like if you start from Seme, we've got Awach River. As you come towards Kisumu, there is Kisat. There is also Kisian. As you come past Kisumu, there is Nyamasaria River. Then as you go to Nyando, of course, you get the big river that I've said, the Nyando River. As you go towards Nyakach, there is another watch at Gemrai. My plan is to have all these waters dammed at the source so that we have enough water to flow by gravity to ensure that each and every household, not only the ones in the city, but even the ones in the rural areas, are supplied with clean, potable water for domestic use, for drinking, and even for irrigation. And what I'll also ensure with my team is that the Nyando Basin, which is prone to flooding, there will be water pans which will be for water catchment to ensure that there's water available throughout the year for everybody. You know, water is life, and water prevents diseases, and really water is the source on which agriculture, which is the cog in the wheel of development, is anchored on.
The youth of Kisumu County would want me to ask you this. I've spoken to quite a number of them, especially in the recent months, the last 2-4 months. And the unemployment in Kisumu County is taking a dangerous dimension because now there are vicious gangs taking over Kisumu. They are interfering with business, they are interfering with security and safety of the people of Kisumu County. Now I'm told there are two gangs that are fighting right in the city. They are destabilizing businessmen. Businessmen are scared, investors are scared. What is your understanding of this problem of gangs and youth unemployment in Kisumu, and how would you deal with it?
Let me start with the problem of gangs, as you put it. The main problem in Kisumu, not only for the youth, is poverty. The population of Kisumu is 968,909. The rate of poverty is 47%. So poverty is affecting all the people across the age divide. But what I would like to say for the youth is that we have not had good preparation for our youth. You find that a school child leaves ECD, goes to standard 1 up to class 8. After class 8, there are so many dropouts. Those who have passed, who could have gone to Form 1, but because of poverty, they cannot even go further than that. Yet, they've got some skills which they were born with, which if retooled and sharpened through lifelong skills acquisition, would help them in being job creators, would help them even in being employed. Now, after class 8, those who go to Form 1, up to Form 4, there is also another very high dropout rate, those who do not reach the university. So you find that very brilliant youth cannot even go to the university. They do not have any means of getting employment. They cannot empower themselves. They cannot even go into entrepreneurship. So the youth problem is big, and it is huge, because the number of youth, the percentage of youth to the population is about 40%. Now with such a hopeless and helpless situation, we cannot blame the youth. It is the planning that has been there which has caused all this. We should have planned as a government in advance to know that so many children are being enrolled for primary. We should have been ready for those who go to secondary, those who do not go to secondary. So my take is this: when I become governor, I'll ensure that there are institutions which would mop up these graduates of class 8, graduates of Form 4. How will I do this? I'll ensure that there are youth polytechnics in each and every constituency, more than one because the number is big, which would sharpen the skills of these youth so that they acquire lifelong skills which would make them either employ themselves, self-employment, which would also make them really be job creators. Because Vision 2030, which is the blueprint of Kenya, of our nation, indicates that by the year 2030, Kenya should be a middle-level economy based on industrialization. It is this youth who will drive this industrialization.
In which areas of Kisumu County economy do you think the youth, would you target first for absorbing a big chunk of the unemployed people in Kisumu County? Where would you target to generate both income and employment for the youth in Kisumu County?
I would target agriculture first, with this reason. As of now, agriculture is the mainstay of Kenya's economy. Agriculture employs about 70% of our people, of the population of Kenyans. Agriculture contributes to employment. Agriculture contributes to income generation. Agriculture contributes to the GDP of the nation. Agriculture contributes to food, and agriculture contributes to ensuring that there is no diseases. Why I'm saying that I would target agriculture first. I'll transform agriculture in Kisumu County through the value chain, starting with producers. I'll ensure that agricultural production, including crops and livestock, is intensified in each and every constituency. By maximizing production means that a lot more acres will be put into agriculture, means that more labor will be required, and this is where the youth and even the women would come in. Time has come when the youth must realize that agriculture is the source of wealth. Agriculture must not be taken lightly. The second cadre would be in processing, value addition. I'll ensure that industries are opened for agro-industry and agri-based industry to mop up this youth and to make them an economic power. With processing, we'll first of all do value addition even at cottage industry level. We'll move up and become more sophisticated and even have good processing industries. And with the help of global partnerships, I'll ensure that the youth are empowered through credit, cheap credit, so that they form groups, get this credit, and own processing companies or industries. I'll also ensure that the youth also participate in marketing. I'll ensure that they adapt to modern technology of farming like greenhouse, so that we can have floriculture and horticulture being marketed through the airport that we have now. So agriculture can easily absorb up to 50% of the youth who are not employed now. Another thing is that agriculture at the moment, the extension service staff are very few. We have Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology, we have Polytechnic. These are institutions which would have a revised curriculum based on a modular system to churn out more agricultural extension officers. Because for agricultural production to go up, we need farmers to work hand in hand with the extension officers who would inform them, who would advise them, who would transfer information from research institutes to the farmers. So even in agricultural extension alone, there would be jobs for the youth.
Now, there are a lot of responses coming in from those who are watching you around the country and also from Kisumu County. There's a lady from Kiambu, she's called Wangoi. She says, Mama, if I was from Kisumu, I would vote for you. I like your policies. The youth of Kisumu County have an interesting challenge. The slum areas of Kisumu County, where the bulk of the unemployed youth are, they're not like slum areas of other cities. They're slum areas where the people who live there own the land. But they're small bits and parcels of land. They cannot access loans, they cannot access credits for small businesses and small ventures, because these small pieces of land that their parents own, the titles are not, the pieces are not valuable enough to warrant enough capital, enough loan from the banks. And also the finance institutions do not trust the youth of Kisumu enough. What do you think, not just from your background in AFC, but also from your understanding of the youth problem and the unemployment problem in Kisumu County, what do you think can be done to put the credit, to put the capital in the hands of the people who need it in Kisumu County to better their lives, to employ themselves?
Yeah, capital is power. Money is power. I, as a governor, when I become the governor, I'll ensure that there's some kitty set aside to loan to this youth. They'll be encouraged to form groups. The credit will be at a subsidized interest so that I can easily access. I've also taught microfinance, rural and microfinance. I know the dynamics of credit delivery to groups. When these youth form groups, there's going to be group pressure so that payment will not be a problem. So for the youth in Kisumu, I would like to tell you that when you elect me as governor, it is not only a promise. I've been tested in AFC and proved that I can manage funds. I can manage credit delivery. I can manage disbursement. I can manage collection. With my background of teaching rural and microfinance, I would like to say that you need not fear. There are many sources of microfinance out there. There are philanthropists. There are even those who just give money to help the poor. So there are sources of finance. I'll use my office to foster global partnerships, collaboration for the good cause of empowering the youth of Kisumu through credit delivery, credit that will be cheap, credit that will be affordable, credit that will be given to groups. And I know the youth of Kisumu, they are hardworking. The loans will be repaid. The loans will be revolved. So many more youth get the funds.
And one such youth is talking to you from Ahero. His name is Moses Ogada. He says, how will you improve the Ahero irrigation scheme?
Thank you. The Ahero irrigation scheme has stagnated, unfortunately, but it has potential for being improved. There are two productive areas. As you take the road towards Ahero, There's a one on the right side, which is 4 individuals. There are the fields on the left, which is under National Irrigation Board. First of all, when I become the governor, I'll ensure that the irrigation, which now gives us rice, is strengthened, is expanded, so that rice is produced en masse, and the rice will be graded, the rice will be packaged, because I've never seen Ahero rice in any supermarket. Yet I see rice from Pakistani. I'll ensure that enough resources is put into the Kano area and the Unyakachi area, which is good for rice, so that rice becomes a major source of income, a major cash crop, because in Kisumu, as you realize, the only cash crop that we now have is sugarcane, and the sugar industry is also collapsing. We had cotton, which collapsed many years ago. The Cotton Development Authority has just been resuscitated. It is trying its best to bring cotton production back to Kisumu. So the rice schemes and the rice farmers in Nyando and in Unyakachi should not be afraid. There'll be a kitty specifically for cash crops. There'll be a percentage for rice, percentage for cotton, percentage for sugarcane, and any other cash crops, and any other improved livestock that will ensure that we maximize production from the cash crops and even from the livestock.
Almost your entire career, you've been in areas that touch directly on farming and agriculture. You talked about cotton. There is a gentleman here called Okanga from Kisumu. He says, because of your career, you must have been watching over the cotton and the sugar industries in Kisumu County. The cotton industry has collapsed. The sugar industry is bedeviled with problems. Farmers are crying all over the place. And he says that sugarcane farmers, unlike tea and coffee, they're living in poverty. What specifically would you do for cotton and the sugar sector in Kisumu County?
As I've said, my vision is to improve the quality of lives of Kisumu County people. One of the ways to improve their lives is through agriculture. And cotton and sugarcane will be the major cash crops of Kisumu County. I know with cotton, the market liberalization of the early 90s is what really made cotton production and cotton processing go haywire, because the competition that came in with market liberalization could not make the cotton farmers in Kisumu and even Kikomi cope. But we've seen the need of bringing cotton back. We've got good fertile soil, the black cotton soil, which if fully exploited would be having enough cotton to make us open Kikomi and even other ginaries. That one will be also going along the value chain of agriculture. We'll have the producers of cotton, we'll have the processors at the first level, the ginning, then we'll have those who make cloth. And there is market, even the Agoa market is still there, with good quality work, which will be done even by the youth, by the women. I'm sure that cotton growing, cotton production will come back to life.
What about sugarcane?
Sugarcane. The sugar industry in Kisumu really is bedeviled with a lot of problems. I would say is management problems, starting from management of sugarcane in the field. Farmers plant sugarcane. When it reaches time for harvesting, there's nobody to harvest. So in the past, this is the cycle which used to happen. Farmers produce a lot of cane. When it gets ready to mature, it is not cut in time. You would find that sugarcane even stays for more than 48 months, even up to 72 months. Then it becomes wood. Then now it is wasted. So what really should happen is that farmers should be subsidized to produce sugar, good quality sugar, just like it is done in Malaysia. There's also mismanagement at the factory level. We used to have, Kisumu County used to have 3 factories. This is Moroni Sugar Company, Chemelil Sugar Company, and Miwani. Over the years, Miwani collapsed more than 20 years ago. It is just dead. The farmers who used to deliver cane to Miwani have nothing to do but really just to watch their fallow land lying